Okay, now we're going to start the episode.
Trump actually.
Girl, there's cancel culture out there, girl.
This thing, none of this is coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe in cancel culture.
You don't?
Neither do I.
What is cancel culture?
What you did 10 years ago, like you did something 10 years ago and they bring it up and they cancel you.
And they cancel you.
Nobody's the same as 10 years ago.
Everybody changes.
Yeah.
You grow up.
People learn and they grow and they grow up. It's true.
They learn and they grow. You laugh, you learn. Misael, bring your mic up a little more.
You
learn.
Hold on.
You know what song I like? Oh, it's not the same person. Excuse me. I was gonna say I like Girlfriend, but that's not Alanis.
Pebbles?
No, Girlfriend. Hey, you. I'm your girlfriend.
I don't know that. What?
I wanna be your girlfriend.
Oh, that's a good song.
What song?
Isn't it a good song?
It's a great song. Chica, what's the song that I thought about the Mary Jane girls all night long?
All night long.
I love that song.
Fabulous.
I'm gonna give it to you, give it to you, give it to you, give it to you.
My favorite song by the Mary Jane girls is Candyman. Oh, I love that song.
That's a great song.
Yes.
So
I like In
good.
My House.
In My House is cute.
But you know what I was singing just now, and I don't know
You're singing
why.
a different song, Booby. You're singing My House in the middle of our street. My house.
No, I was
That's
singing
a different.
In my house. In
you
my house.
She's just tone deaf, darling.
Peace of mind.
Yeah, I was.
It's like last week when I was like, yeah, you know, guys, that song that goes tonight.
J-Lo?
J-Lo.
It was Shannon. It was Shannon.
I was singing, and I'm forgetting the artist now. I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden.
Oh my God. Lynn
Anderson.
There you go.
Lynn Anderson is fabulous.
But have you heard the version by Lin-Manuel Miranda?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, honey.
Yes. I begged your pardon. So welcome to Homework. I am Mike Diamond.
This is Miss Matinga.
Hi, Mike.
This is Booby.
And we have a special guest today. Please welcome Marsupial Misael.
I'm not a special guest. I've known you boys for decades.
Yeah, but the children love you and they consider you special and they love it when you're on.
I
know these boys for children. I know these boys for decades.
Oh my God.
So
you used to babysit this one, the host.
You take umbrage with the fact that we call you special, but not the fact that I called you a marsupial.
I don't know what marsupial.
Misael. Oh, I've known Misael for
a long time.
Marsupial is like a kangaroo.
Right.
Like
an animal with a pouch.
With a pouch.
Cute. I like it. I'll be what is it again?
Marsupial.
I'll be a marsupial.
Hello.
Misael, many years ago, I mean, I don't think it was the 90s yet. It might have still been the 80s. You and I and Michael Doyle and our friend Kendall Price all went to go see Whitney Houston in concert.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember. One of our first concerts.
One of her first concerts, she sang her ass off, and I'll always remember that I met you in front of Madison Square Garden, and you were wearing black combat boots and long johns.
Oh yeah, probably.
And that's it, a long john top and a long john bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, word, girl.
I remember Whitney Houston was wiping her sweat with her napkin, and she told somebody, "No, did you want it?" And they go, "Yeah." Well, you can't have it.
Work.
Go Whitney.
We were lucky to see her live.
I'm so glad I got to see her live. She was incredible.
Yeah.
She's still the best singer to me.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked about her last words. Glug, glug, glug. You know.
Glug, glug,
And her
glug.
daughter's last words.
Oh, well, now that's just crass, girl.
I pushed it too
That's
far.
crass. That's crass.
That's crass.
That's class.
That's crass.
That's crass.
That's crass, mama.
Her last words were, "I'm coming, mama."
Oh.
Oh.
No, girl. Mama, I want to swim. Yo, so on today's...
Mama, I never learned to swim.
I didn't want to get my hair done.
On today's episode of Homework, we are taking on a topic so huge, so relevant, so massive.
Your hoe?
No.
Oh.
Woo! That would be true, except my hole is no longer relevant.
Misael gets this.
But my hole is no longer relevant. Okay. No, we're going to be talking about fashion, gays and fashion, fashion and gays in fashion. What's up with gays and fashion? Because Misael, you work in fashion. Matinga, you need to learn about fashion. And Booby, you're wearing some kind of fashion.
Oh, can I start with this? Fashion is always about practicality. Like I remember Tina Turner, they saying, "Why do you wear your hair like this? Why do you wear leather and fishnets?" She says, "I wear fishnets because they tear less than regular stockings. I wear leather because it doesn't show sweat. And I do this with my hair a lot because I'm wiping the sweat off my hand on my hair." So everything was useful. Even like military people, they have buttons on their wrist. That's so they don't wipe their noses with the button prevents.
Get out of here.
That is absolutely true.
Wow.
How do they wipe their noses?
Well, with a
Napkins.
tissue or something, but not with the sleeve, not with the uniform.
But if they had a napkin, why would they use the sleeve anyway?
Well,
They're men.
because you tend to do this. You tend to do this.
You've never wiped your nose on your sleeve or your pants?
Maybe after doing a lot of coke. You know.
Huh.
You know,
Yes,
bitch.
and there's different kinds of fashions, because fashion in the military, that would be like utilitarian fashion. It wouldn't be haute couture fashion, but it is still fashion of a type.
I
And a
do.
lot of designers are inspired by military.
I like
And-
the pixelated camo. Ever see like the pixelated camo look?
Yes.
And
It's Brian's headshot right now.
Have you seen the police officers in Italy have their uniforms done by Prada?
They look good.
Ooh.
Form fitting.
They
And-
look sexy.
And the police in Greece are done.
Yeah.
They are done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Style,
it's
darling.
super
Fashion,
cute.
darling.
Yeah,
Fashion, darling.
Yeah. And
Very
also,
different from US.
I want to say that also fashion is personal, and it's the individual, and what I see as really beautiful and fashionable, someone else could see as really standard and basic, and it's really up to the individual.
What makes you feel good? Look at
Yeah.
Anthony right now. Behind you, Wonder Woman. That's the perfect example of fashion. That's the rope is used to incite people to tell
Utilitarian.
Oh yeah.
the wrist off.
And the boobs reflect bullets, right? Isn't it like her breastplate? Isn't it? Doesn't
But
it?
it does show the eagle, the American eagle, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's a stylized double W that looks like it. That looks like an eagle.
So is my
Anthony,
irrelevant hole. What?
I'm sorry. The headband means something also, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, the beautiful thing about Wonder Woman is that she's a superhero, but since she's a woman, her weaponry and her gala is fashion. She has bracelets, a tiara. She's wearing a unitard. She's wearing boots. It's all fashion, but it's her fashion. Her tiara she can throw. Her bracelets deflect.
Even her
bullets.
like her swimsuit thing is cute.
I love her
Yeah.
swimsuit.
Yeah.
She goes from
Yeah.
a motorcycle into the water with a
Ooh.
Fabulous.
Miss Linda Carter, honey.
Annie.
and
Miss
she
Linda
has the
Carter.
best waist to hip ratio.
Yeah.
Well, I think that speaking of superheroes, Captain America's fashion is also utilitarian. America's ass, yes, I want to see a package like that in them tights. So that works for me.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Chris? What's his name?
Chris
did,
Evans.
He did an accidental dick pic.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, we have visited this topic, and I mentioned while recording that I hadn't seen the photo. And I just want to say thank you to the 25 or 26 people that sent it to me the next day.
Do you remember what he said when people saw it?
Was
What did
it
he say?
guard that
He
pussy?
said, "Now that I have your attention, vote."
Vote.
Please
Oh,
vote.
yes, honey.
I
Beautiful.
love that.
I
Honey,
vote for that, bitch.
America's ass and America's dick.
Honey, yeah.
Hello.
He's like
Honey.
he's America's boyfriend, honey.
He's
He also has an LGBTQ brother that's super cute.
Yes. Now, speaking of gays and fashion and gays and fashion. Now, I was thinking, there are so many gay fashion designers. It would take less time to list the ones that aren't gay. Oscar de la Renta, boom, we're done. Every other designer is gay. Am I right or am I wrong?
There's got to be some straight fashion designers out there, but many of them are gay.
Coco
Vera
Chanel.
Wang.
There are a lot of straight women designers.
Right.
You don't.
Yes.
I don't see a lot of gay women designers. Well,
Huh.
Like lesbians.
Right.
Okay.
And then some of the gay fashion designers can be a little problematic. Was it the House of Prada that doesn't
Dolce & Gabbana.
Dolce & Gabbana that they don't believe in gay marriage?
Or
It's like-
artificial insemination for
Yeah.
gay men.
It's like, ladies, really? Come
Yeah.
on.
You know,
And they're gay.
I
And
was
they're gay.
I was
They-
artificially inseminated once. Motherfucker pulled out and came on my back.
I will say, Todd Oldham used to come to the animal hospital that I used to work at many, many years ago, and this was years after he had his big moment, but he was still cute and he was really nice guy.
He came into a place where I worked in 2003. Remember, I was working at that plant shop down in Soho that with the koi
Yes.
pond inside, the real fancy schmancy.
Yeah.
He came in one day, and I gotta say, his taste in plants, fantastic. Like
Really?
he
Yeah.
went right to the unusual specimens, the rare ones. I was, I knew who he was, but I was like, well, damn, he really knows his shit.
Hmm.
Also, very cute and very sweet.
Oh, my other fashion story, and this is the one that turned me out. And she was incredible. Also, a lot of stars came to my old animal clinic because it was in a cool neighborhood. But Grace Coddington shows up one morning.
Hot.
Really?
And I was like, oh my God, Miss Coddington. I knew exactly who she was. And I was just fawning over her. She was
Prada.
loving it. Super sweet, down to earth. She was like, oh, I have a book coming out. And she had like this $400 book coming out with like of all her work. And it was like, had this orange cover. She donated one to the hospital actually for a raffle that we were throwing. But she was
Word.
sweet and she was living because I guess at that time, she didn't get recognized as much, maybe. And I was like, oh, Grace Coddington, yes.
Word.
And that's what my other fashionista story.
Booby, now
Yeah.
you lived in Miami for a long, long time. I'm
Oh.
sure that you had a lot of run-ins with the fashion and the fashionistas and the fashion industry.
You lived by Versace's mansion.
I've waited on Versace.
Wow.
He used to
You-
come to the restaurant early in the morning and have breakfast. If it wasn't our restaurant, it was the one on Ocean Drive, News Cafe. But he was really sweet, very, very, very down to earth. He would go into the kitchen and get his own utensils sometimes, and that's a waiter thing.
You know, there's a cocktail named the Versace. It's just 2 shots and a splash. Ah, what?
I read that Versace was not into drugs at all. And he said when Donatella was going in and out, why is she acting so strange? Because he wouldn't even drink wine. He would drink wine and put half of Coke in it. So
Oh.
drugs at did you see that with him? Like they said he was very innocent. He was unaware of the drugs around him.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, the South Beach was just like
Right.
this with drugs.
Especially
At the time.
Yeah.
90s, yeah.
So listen, guys, quick question. This is a multifaceted conversation,
Yeah.
but I just thought it might be fun if we all just said who our favorite supermodels of the 80s were.
What
80s?
does it have to be the 80s?
Our favorite supermodel. All of mine were in the 80s,
Okay.
but your favorite supermodels.
Just one, or you're gonna say 2 or 3?
I have my list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You know what? Why don't we say you could say all 7, but just talk about one.
Just talk about one.
And I
Okay.
have my list as well. They're in my mind.
Okay. So is that okay?
Yeah, do it. Go for it.
Okay. So I'm only going to talk about one, but my list of the fierce supermodels of all time are Miss Linda Evangelista, in no specific order.
I agree.
Miss Linda Evangelista, Naomi, Miss Yasmin Ghouri, who I loved, by the way, Miss Christie Turlington, of course, Cindy, Iman, and I'm throwing in Brooke Shields. Fight me.
I've met Brooke Shields. She was with Next. Nicest girl, down to earth.
Oh.
You forget that she's famous. Just down to earth. Just
Yeah.
regular.
And lovely.
And beautiful.
Yes.
And beautiful.
Beautiful, yes.
And the only one that I would actually say something more about is that for me, like the Pen Ultimate, like the one that was the most versatile, the most beautiful, and the most interesting for me was Linda Evangelista. I thought, what an incredible, incredible model.
Yeah.
And she was not the most, regular beauty. Like she didn't have a tiny nose. She had a big nose. She had like kind of weird teeth where you see all her gums. I've seen her in backstage at the, oh my God, Isaac Mizrahi show. And I remember seeing they were gonna take a Polaroid of her. At the time, they used to take Polaroid digitals, and she was like this, like an old woman. And the camera comes on, and all of a sudden she gets up, and everything changes.
Wow.
And the camera goes down, and
Back to
Yeah.
her.
I saw her walking down the street one day, and I instantly knew it was her, but she wasn't as beautiful in real life. But the camera loves her.
And
Loves her.
She's the one that said she wouldn't get out of bed for less than 10,000 clams a day.
Yes.
Hello.
yes.
And also, she really happened when she went from the longer hair to the short hair. The short hair is what kind of like propelled her.
Catapulted her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was still popular with the long hair, but the short hair made her super.
She was adorable.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
I'm gonna say my list now.
Okay.
I'm a little older, so mine is a little bit older. But for I'm going to talk about two girls real quick. Lauren Hutton.
Yes.
Because, I mean, amazing model, and it is a skill. But Revlon was using her a lot, and she said, you know what? If you just hire me, I won't work with anybody else. She got a $1 million contract. She invented the cosmetic contract.
Wow.
The other one, Janice Dickinson.
Miss Janice Dickinson.
She was so nice both times. The first time I met her, she was 14, and she said, "What are you doing? Why aren't you in school?" And really sweet. But she would go on a. She went from Ford to Elite to Ford to Elite, and every time she left Elite, like in a span of 3 months, she would raise the rate. The rate was 1,500 a day, 2,000. The rate was 2,004. She went back to Elite. She made it 3,000. And everybody else benefited from her raising the rate.
Wow.
Everybody's rate was raised. So those two, and I like the fact that they're like, Lauren Hutton is not like a cookie cutter. And Janice Dickinson, to me, when all the other girls were blonde and blue eyes, she looked Puerto Rican to me. With her big lips and her tan skin, she looked ethnic to me. So
She was gorgeous.
and she
Miss
was. And
Her trashy books. Her books are fierce.
Miss Janice Dickinson's autobiography is so fierce. And I love Miss Lauren Hutton's gap. She's got a little gap in the teeth.
Yes.
And it's just so lovely.
And Janice Dickinson, one more thing, I don't mean to, she was on the Howard Stern show, and she was way before, and she was talking about Cosby, and how he raped her. This was way before. And she said she wanted to put a lot more in the book, but his lawyers were going to sue her if it wasn't. This was 10 years before the Cosby thing happened.
Yeah.
And that's no laughing matter. That happened to a lot of people, including myself. I woke up one morning with a Jell-O pudding pop in my ass, wearing an ugly sweater, and I was like, damn, I've been Cosby'd.
Yeah, but you gave the man the pill, and you said, roofie me.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop roofied.
Is it still being, if you give him the pill, is it still the same?
Is it date rape if I drug myself?
That's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are those the only two, Misael, that you had to mention? Anybody?
Miss Misael could name like 100.
I like the model in the early 80s, and I'm not even going to mention her. There's a few models that are in the early 80s that are complete right-wing, that vote for Bush, and I'm like, fuck you.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Fuck him. Yeah.
Misael. Like Kim Alexis. This model Kelly Emberg gets Ted, what's his name? Ted, you know his
Cruz?
name, ran for president.
Ted Cruz?
She has pictures with him. Jerry Hall, who married Rupert Murdoch.
What?
Yeah. But an interesting woman. Still an interesting woman, but...
That's my respect. I'm sorry.
I have a question for you, Misael, because you're the person who's going to be able to answer this. Today, I was racking my brain. In the 80s, early 90s, there was a model, and she got into a terrible car accident and kind of had to semi-retire.
Miracle Girl.
A blonde girl.
Not
and she was beautiful. Not.
Maria
She had twin babies. She had twins.
Was
She had
it
baby.
Maria Hansen?
Say again?
Maria Hansen?
No, although I loved her with the scar.
Nikki Taylor.
Is it Nikki Taylor that got into the car accident?
No, Nikki Taylor got. Did she get into a car accident?
A bad car accident. She basically had to retire. She was a blind. Was it Tatiana Petitz?
No. Wait a minute.
Could have been Nikki.
No. Wasn't it that somebody threw acid in her face like a spurned lover?
No, that was you, honey.
That's Dawn Davenport.
No, do you
No.
know who that was? That was that Latin act. That was that Latin model, and they made
Wait.
a movie about her.
Marla
Gia?
Hanson? Marla Hanson.
Gia?
Not Gia. Oh,
Gia.
Oh, by the way, everybody said that Cindy, like they called her baby Gia, but I actually always thought that Yasmin Gori looked a little bit more like Gia.
Do you know what we should do on an episode of Homework?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
we should do that movie about Gia with Angelina Jolie, and I
Yeah.
think Faye Dunaway's in it, right?
Yeah.
It's so bad. Who does
'Cause-
Faye Dunaway play?
We love
The-
you.
Really?
Cooper.
How
Yeah.
funny.
Wait, Marla Hanson was
It's-
the model that got slashed,
Yeah.
right?
Very
Yes, I remember that. And she was still quite beautiful even afterward.
Miss Booby, who are your favorite models? Models.
Linda Evangelista, #1. Love her.
Number one.
And Matinga mentioned her, Tatiana Patitz.
Miss
Oh,
Tatiana
I love
Patitz.
Tatiana. I love
Loved
Tatiana.
her. And also
Gorgeous.
the model with the super long legs, the blonde model,
Nadia.
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 Loved her.
I'm
Yeah.
really shocked that none of you said Christy Turlington.
I said Christie in my list.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, you started talking and I zoned out.
Yeah. Oh, like always.
So, all right, I'm going to name my two. Actually, I'm only going to name one because one of them I can't name. I can just tell you that it's a male model. And about 10 years ago,
I knew it was a-
raw dogged me and came in my eye, bitch. And it
I
was
know who
worth
you're
it.
talking about.
You know, and I got conjunctivitis and I was
Ralph
okay with
Lauren?
it. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
he was a Ralph Lauren
Mhm.
model, but we're not going to get into it. So he's my secret runner up. But I'm going to have to say Naomi Campbell because,
Naomi.
bitch, give me drama. Serve it on the runway and then hit somebody backstage with a phone.
And still relevant. Still relevant.
And
Well,
my God, gorgeous.
It still keeps going on. She still has campaigns. She still has.
I want a model who's evil and shady. I want a diva, honey.
Well, you mentioned Christy Turlington.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows this, but just in case the children, right? We call them the children.
Yes.
Children. Christy Turlington is amazing because, first of all, she doesn't do any Botox or whatever. She's letting her face do whatever she wants. And she dedicates her life with Every Mother Counts, where Black women are more likely, 50% more likely to die during birth.
Yeah.
And she goes to these third world countries and spreading the message. That is her. She's got awards.
Really?
That
Yeah.
is her cause for life. And
Wow.
every magazine has to have an article attached to it of her foundation, or else she doesn't do the editorial or the cover.
Wow.
Yeah.
pretty
That's
amazing.
fabulous. See, that's how you wield your power.
And
Yeah.
now I think she designs, like she doesn't really model anymore. Doesn't she do like yoga clothes or something?
When she models, honey, she still has that Calvin Klein contract. And
Oh,
but she's modeling for a lot less jobs with a lot more money.
And
lot more money.
wasn't her head and her face the basis for mannequin heads?
At
'cause
the
she-
Met, at the Met, they
so
have 100
symmetrical?
mannequins. Yep. She's not symmetrical though. If you look at her face up, one eye is bigger, one eye is smaller, one nostril is bigger. Most models are straight.
Human.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the eyes, the beautiful cat eyes.
Now you
course.
mentioned
Just,
Calvin Klein a second ago, and he would fall under the category of gay fashion designer, right? And he's like 80,000 years old, and he has a 20-year-old boy toy.
Even though he was married to Kelly.
Oh please!
To Kelly.
Oh please!
They
To
both
Kelly
came to
who?
his wife.
Kelly
Kelly
LeBrock,
Klein.
darling. Kelly LeBrock.
He was married to Kelly LeBrock, really?
No.
No.
Oh.
You know, him and his wife would come to the Raleigh Hotel all the time, and he would insist on a 5-egg white omelet. And I'd bring it out to him, and he would be reading his books, whatever, and his wife would be, signing autographs, and because she had just done a tabletop, book.
Right.
And I couldn't believe he was married. He was such a queen.
Right.
Such a queen. Oh, my
Well,
God.
Maybe coming
Chica,
from a different
can I say
era.
something?
Yeah, darling.
You mentioned Janice Dickinson book. Can I
The
mention
lifeguard
the
on
best-
duty.
Read it. Go out there and read it.
Read it.
But the best part of it that she was, because you mentioned Calvin Klein, so she was at Calvin Klein show, and she was supposed to open the show, and Calvin Klein and all everybody was looking for her. Where are you? Where are you? She was in the closet. Tony, whatever, was fucking her in the bathroom, and she goes, "I felt so elegant as I was walking down the runway with sperm running down my leg."
Hello.
It's in the book.
No.
Delicious. Honey,
I
that's
love it.
class. That's
That's
class.
class.
That's class and craft.
And class.
Class.
Ooh, honey.
Yeah,
And I
great,
think, you
great
know,
autobiography.
she also she's if you look at her Instagram, she posted a picture maybe 3 months ago. She used to post a lot more, but she had a huge settlement from the Cosby Show. But she's not allowed to say how much it was, but
How much you think it
not
was?
doing jobs or whatever. Apparently, it was enough that she's like comfortably laying
Did they
down.
pay her in Jello pudding pops?
She doesn't eat, so
Yeah, that's true.
I think she's one of the ones that like you take like say a Christie Brinkley, who was never one of my favorite models. She just wasn't, even though she was a big model. But like Christie has aged very well, and she has been worked on. You can tell,
of
but
course,
but
everyone.
she looks fucking great.
Yeah.
As opposed to Janice, who's like been worked on, and I don't think she looks that great.
I
Like
think
I
if you
think
look
she
at her
went too
recently,
far,
it's settled. It's sometimes it's too much and then it settles.
and then
Right.
it settles.
She is a 66-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Look, that's 66-year-old.
Madonna's 62 and Christie Brinkley's 64, I think.
Madonna looks bloated and too much filler in her face.
Too much
And
Fraxel.
the ass. The ass.
Oh, the
that
ass
Chrissy
is
has.
so weird.
Too big.
It's weird, too much.
She
Poor
got like
thing.
that tranny at Esquelita ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
That like you could like, have you ever seen that video of the tranny? She takes the implant in the butt and she could actually turn it around.
Yes.
Have you seen that, right? Like
Yes.
that kind of ass.
Yeah.
It's like, girl, what did you do? But fight me on it. Like Madonna isn't as relevant as she used to be, but you can't take anything away from her. She was fierce. She's a survivor. She did her thing. I mean, we love to read now, but like some of the best concerts I've ever been to, some of the greatest music. Like, yeah, she's kind of tired now.
No, Anthony. If you look up the concert in Billboard, how much money they made, her concerts are right up there, top female.
Oh, yeah.
More than Beyonce.
Yo, that
Oh,
bitch
yeah.
puts on a show, honey.
And she puts on a
She
show,
sells
darling.
out. She sells out.
Yeah.
So who designed, I'm forgetting the name, gay designer, the blonde ambition, the cone titties? Who was her
Jean-Paul
designer?
Gaultier.
Gaultier, yes.
He designed
He's
all the
nicest
costumes.
guy. He's so nice.
Yeah, nice
Tell
guy.
us.
I remember working in clubs and giving out. I don't have a personal experience with it, but I remember just giving out passes for the club, and I remember like Michael Musto being a real asshole, and he always grabbed one, and he would be like, "Thank you." And he's just nice.
Yeah.
Right.
My little Gaultier story, I was working at a little clothing store on 8th Avenue that is now defunct, the Starting Line. I loved working there. It was a great little place.
I
And
remember.
many people walked in there. Many stars were Rupert Everett and Sam Champion, and everybody walked in there. And so
Sam Champion.
Miss Sam Champion. Honey, I saw at the time, it was mid-90s, I saw Miss Sam Champion in a little Speedo standing there in front of me, and he was like, "Baby, does this look good?" And I was like, "Baby, it looks incredible." And so Gaultier comes in. Of course, I know exactly who he is. And it was like a little informal sporting goods, but we sold club regalia and stuff like that. There was no personal shopper in this place. So he walks up to me. He says, "You follow me around." I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, he's picking out things and throwing them at me and picking out things. I'm holding things. It's Gaultier. And then he's like, and then we go to the back and he's trying on things. And he'll like literally would come out of the room like this, like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm feeling." And then he tries something else. "It's fabulous." And he bought like $2,000 worth of stuff, but he like took my opinion. Like he like actually like asked for my opinion.
Oh.
But he was goofing around too. And he was having fun. And he was just really, really cool. And I was like his little personal shopper for like 2 hours. He was fun.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice story.
I've had the occasional hookup with people in fashion, and I was always a little uncomfortable because, clearly I'm not a fashion queen.
Yeah.
So,
And naked isn't your best look.
sadly, naked is my best look. I mean, if the look is melted candle. And so,
Stop.
like I would get there and I'd be like, they're judging me, aren't they? They're judging.
Yeah.
Why are they looking at my shoes? These are New Balance.
These are New Balance, honey. These were $65.
Dollars, honey, at Domestic Shoe Warehouse, darling.
Learn it.
But can I say something from working at a modeling agency? People tell me all the time, "Oh, you must feel insecure with all these hot guys around you." The opposite is true, because every little thing is such a big deal to them. you kind of relax about it.
Right.
Because you have to compliment them and tell them, oh, you look good, or you've been working out. Because I feel so comfortable around good looking out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're trying so you don't have to.
Right.
And also,
Yeah.
when people are like that gorgeous, trust me, they're not thinking about anything else other than themselves.
And
They're
can I
not
say
thinking about
something
you, they're thinking about themselves.
about being gorgeous? Nobody wants to. I don't want to be around gorgeous or looking people all the time. So people want to be gorgeous. I don't want to be your friends. Get away from me.
Right. Right.
I've always found it wise to surround myself with older, less attractive people. It's true. But
Yes,
Too
Glad.
late now, honey.
Hello.
But
Glad.
let's get into gays and fashion. Booba, you've been terribly quiet.
I wanted to say, we've been talking about female models, and I have never, female models were coming into the Raleigh Hotel all the time. Naomi Campbell and Christie Brinkley and all of them. And I never was gaga, but I went crazy for a male model who I was in love with for so long, Mark Vanderloo.
Oh, yes.
Oh, he
So
came in and he
beautiful.
asked me to hold his rollerblades.
Is he the more blonde one?
Yeah.
That is the most 90s thing I've ever heard.
Was he
I was
nice?
like, sure.
Was he
So
Booby,
nice.
You
So
are,
nice.
You are so presentient, because I was about to say, isn't it funny that we haven't mentioned one male model?
I did. The guy that came in my eye.
Right. Marcus Schenkenberg.
Tyson,
No, it wasn't Marcus
was the
Schenkenberg.
first male model to do a contract with
Who
Ralph
was?
Lauren. No, Tyson.
Tyson Beckford.
Tyson Beckford,
Taste.
who I
Yes.
happen to, who also is aging gracefully and still
Yes.
quite handsome.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's easier for men to age than for women.
It's easier for black
Why
men to
is
do
that?
Because
Because
society is not so microscopic, checking every little thing out. We could be imperfect and rugged.
because a man gets gray hair and he's distinguished. A woman gets gray hair and she's a hag. In this view of this culture, unfortunately.
Right. Right.
Joan Collins said, I've been obsessed with Joan Collins, so we just did a show about her. But she said, and I think Joan Collins broke the mold here, because she got older and stayed sexy and beautiful in her 50s, 60s, 70s. She's still
80s.
fucking 80, so fucking beautiful. But like she said, a man can get fat and gray, and they're distinguished. They're august. A woman can't get fat and gray because they just won't work anymore. And and it's really true. Like we put an unfair expectation on female beauty. I feel much more sexier as a man now that
Than you
I turned
did as a
50
woman?
than when I was 25 and I was super thin and I was like, but now that I'm fat and hairy and old, I look in the mirror and I'm like, I'm sexy. So it's like a weird thing, I'm allowing myself that. And I guess culture allows that too.
It's
Right.
not only that, and Anthony, like I remember thinking more smooth guys were cute. Now as I get older, a big hairy chest, turn on.
Yes.
I'm like, whoa, yeah.
Yes. And a
Okay,
big fat ass.
Oh, can I say something? Oh, it's totally off subject. Is that okay?
Please, go for it.
Okay. Did you Dancing with the Stars?
Yes.
There was this, I don't know. He did the catfish, and he's a
Yes.
hairy guy.
Yes,
And
yes.
The two judges were like, "Oh, you have to manscape," and the other one, "Oh, but you're too hairy."
What?
No, that was so rude.
Yeah.
Tyra Banks, even though I hate her, she said, if it wasn't coronavirus, I'd be running my hands up and down your chest.
Yeah.
How dare they tell him he's too hairy?
Why do you hate Tyra Banks?
Why do I hate? I just think she's too much. Phony, exactly. Fake.
But
just like-
would you consider her
think she's a
a
good
supermodel?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, right?
Not only
Not-
is she a supermodel, but she took she went to another career and that was very profitable.
I heard she wasn't very nice.
No, she was with Next. So I have a little inside information.
So she was.
No, she was very this is it, business. She was business.
Right.
She didn't
Okay.
have time for a night, but she wasn't mean or nasty. And she said, when I'm 29, I'm going to quit modeling. I don't care how successful I am. I'm going to get married and I'm going to have kids. That's exactly what she did.
That's what she did.
Good for her, honey.
Mizey,
She
before
said that at 20.
before the world stopped turning, when everything was normal,
It's still turning. It's still
yes,
turning.
yes.
Yeah.
But there was a day of the week, I'm thinking it was Wednesdays at Next, when open call. Yes, thank you. So By the way, I was a receptionist at Next for 2 weeks.
And they fired you because every time you picked up the phone, you did a different accent. And people were confused. Why is every time I call here, there's a different person on answering?
Well, I'm just trying to keep it interesting. Anyway.
German, this one is Spanish.
Anyway, so these open calls and
Right.
these young prospective people that want to be models,
Right.
what is the biggest mistake that they make? Just out of curiosity.
That they want validation, that they're good looking, even though they don't have any modeling potential. They need to go into the website and look at what models really look like. You are not a model. That doesn't mean
Or
that
they need to
you're
go
not-
into
that
the
doesn't-
dark and stay there.
That doesn't mean that you're not beautiful.
Right.
It just means you're not a model.
Model material.
Right. Right.
And a lot of people, they just want validation for that they're good looking.
Wow.
Sometimes these models, like I told you before, like I saw Linda Evangelista, and her face was like, the bones on her face were so pronounced that like I was like, whoa, like she's kind of harsh in person, but you know, on film it was beautiful. And so it's not about being beautiful; it's about having that right face for the camera.
It was
Does-
like when Joan Crawford died, George
Cukor.
he said she had a beauty that was, you couldn't see it with the human eye, but the
Right.
camera loved her.
Mm.
But the human eye couldn't see it.
Yeah.
My problem is that the human eye can't see my beauty, and neither can the camera. I'm
It's
shit
so
out of
weird.
luck.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm shit
Yeah.
out of luck.
A
That's some
camera,
beauty.
A camera can be manipulated, and you could do whatever, and just you can manipulate pictures.
Like,
So guys, we went over our favorite models. Who is our one favorite designer, if we have one?
I like and I'm gonna say it for political reasons. I like his designs.
Jason Wu.
No, the winner of Project Runway,
Christian
The guy-
Siriano.
Christian Siriano.
Christian Siriano, because
Love her.
he was the first to include models of all sizes from
Right.
0 to 16 in his
Yep.
runway. And then other designers follow suit.
From
suit.
zero
So,
to circus tent. I'm in favor of that. You
And-
have to
and-
be inclusive.
yeah, you do have to be inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I love it.
all
Right,
colors
cheers.
and all. And you know, thinking back real quick, this is fashion business. Can you believe one season was called the Blondes and everybody had to be blonde? And so
On what? On Project Runway?
no, on the like the fall season,
Just the fall season was all about
Wow.
blondes.
and every model was a blonde. I remember Alec Weck did a fashion show, and she wore. Maybe we could look it up on the internet.
No.
She wore a blonde wig, and at the end of she wasn't supposed to do this. At the end of the blonde wig, she took it off.
I
Yeah.
love it. I
You
love
saw
it.
that? Yeah.
Do you think she was chastised for that and got in trouble?
I don't think so, because it got so much press, and that's all they care about.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about press.
She
Does-
made her moment.
Does
Yeah.
does the fashion industry as a whole give people unrealistic expectations? Does it make, like we were saying before, like women aren't allowed to get gray hair, this, that, and the
It's
other?
like- no, it's like people saying, they're pro-Trump, and read the news. All you have to do is read the paper. All you have to do is, this is fantasy.
Fantasy.
Even Cindy Crawford does not look like what she even says it. They tape up her boobs, the lighting. Paulina Poroskova on her Instagram. I love Paulina Poroskova. That's
Me
one
too.
of my favorites. She has a great Instagram. She did Sports Illustrated last year, and she goes, "This is the picture that, the best photographer, the best lighting, and then after I'm done with it, they send it to a place where they take a little
Touch it
bit of
up.
my waist, they touch up my legs, they make them a little bit longer, they touch up my bags." So it
Yeah.
really is kind of half painting, half photograph. It's
Absolutely.
Wow.
admittedly. And people need to know that.
And you know-
they do.
And you
Yeah,
know
but
what?
But if you're 13 looking at, Teen Vogue or whatever, you might not connect those
The
Yeah.
parents
dots.
have to tell you, this is not real. This is a fake.
Exactly. It's
Mm.
things are airbrushed, things are manipulated, and in our own personal lives, on our own social media, we are taking our own photos and editing them and changing the lighting and making ourselves look better. So it's fantasy, and we should realize that when you see a beautiful lady on the cover of a magazine, that photo has been worked on because it's art. It's not
But
reality.
we know that because we're adults, but
And
But
so-
what about the kids?
But
The
that's
parents have to
all.
teach them that.
I suppose, darling. I
It's all a
suppose.
business. If you look at a magazine, and you look at the cover, and they still say the cover, clothes by Ralph Lauren, makeup by, let's
Blah
just
blah
say
blah.
L'Oreal for now. Do you think the makeup artist is actually putting L'Oreal makeup on her, just L'Oreal? He has a makeup box with a bunch of colors. But
That's
then
right.
if you look at the second page of the magazine, there's a 2-page ad of L'Oreal. L'Oreal paid for an ad, so of course they're going to give them credit for the magazine.
Yeah.
Ralph Lauren is paying for ads, so of course they're going. It's all a commercial. It's all an ad. That's all it is.
Right.
It's all commerce.
Makeup artists, hairstylists, fashion designers. Why are so many of them gay men? Why? What's the connection?
I was talking with Bob about that earlier this morning, and the only thing consensus we could come up with is gay men like glamour. They like pretty, and they like to create pretty. They're very creative people.
Yeah.
That's all we had as far as our opinions. What are your opinions?
Are they kind of like dressing up models like they're like Barbie dolls?
If they were women,
Oh, okay.
You know what? It's kind of strange. The fashion industry does employ a bunch of people. When under the umbrella of the fashion business, a lot of people.
A lot.
Writers, editors,
Mhm.
printers, everything.
Textile workers.
Yep. It's funny that,
yeah.
that male models are straight, but if you look at male magazines, the people that do the they effeminize the men.
Yeah.
They make them feminine. They make them wear like ruffles and panties, and they like to feminize the straight men.
Don't you?
Honey, after a
I don't
couple of
mind a
cocktails.
feminine man. I think a feminine man is like it's because everybody's feminine, so you're comfortable with your own femininity and you're bringing it out. That's fine. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I
I've
say,
se-
give
No, go
me a
ahead.
man with calloused hands and the threat of violence. Bitch, lock me in a room, take away my phone, make love to me.
I like a man with Maria calloused hands.
Oh,
Oh,
I love Maria Callas.
Yes.
Spears, honey.
Fierce.
Misael, I have a question to pose to you.
Yeah.
How do you feel? And if it's too political, we can cut this.
I feel
How-
a little bit
how do you-
tired. I got up early
How do-
today. My kid was hurt. I went
How
to
do
the
you-
dentist.
How do you feel about these women like Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian, the other Jenner, I forget her name, that now they're becoming some of the biggest models in the industry, but maybe they haven't put in the hard work. I heard a story about Kendall Jenner that she refused. She would only do like 2 or 3 shows because who wants to do 30 shows?
Right,
And that all these other models were like, bitch, who the fuck are you? So what are your feelings on like, do you consider them supermodels? I don't, by the way. And do you consider them legit? Do they have a place in the industry?
I think like Gigi Hadid and Bella
She's
Hadid.
so beautiful, Gigi and Bella.
If they were just regular people, then they would still be models.
Yeah,
And Kendall Jenner,
yes.
I don't particularly like her look, but she photographs well. I think
She does
would've been-
photograph well.
She's tall. She has a nice body. I think she would have been a model anyway. Maybe not as big.
Maybe catalog.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like
But
Kmart
they're-
catalog.
It is wrong, but if your parents are famous, I mean, there's agencies where they only cater to children of famous people, and they try to get them work just based on the fact that their parents are famous. They have no fame whatsoever themselves.
Yes.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the White House, everything. If you have children, you're famous, you're more likely to get residual.
So it sounds like, yeah, sure, they have a place.
And wasn't there a moment where like models were not appearing on magazine covers as much because actresses and other celebrities were kind
yeah.
of taking those gigs?
But think about like 1980s, Sally Field, Meryl Streep. They weren't on the fashion covers because they didn't want to be on the cover. They wanted.
Right.
Remember when what's her name? B-52s. They wanted to do one of their commercials into a Pepsi commercial, and they said no, that's commercial. But everything has changed now.
But now there's synergy. There's got to be synergy.
Now Pepsi might endorse their concert,
Right.
so they have to do the commercial.
What do you make of the conversation that pops up every now and again that gay men in fashion are misogynistic and trying to make women look bad with the heels and like squishing them into little outfits and things? Because that does come up in like radical feminist conversations. I personally don't think that's true, But what do you think?
Then don't wear the fucking heels if you
Then don't wear the heels, right?
And if somebody wants to wear them, my aunt, she had a curved foot like this, because even her sandals had heels. Even when she couldn't wear flats anymore because her foot was.
That's amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
And she actually said, "I fall in flats. I can't walk in flats.
That's like slow motion
Wow.
foot binding.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I saw a recent show, a men's fashion show, and the outfit, I don't know if it was Gucci, but the men were wearing these heels. They're gray. It was just a weird fashion show because the guys looked like they were wearing diapers and suit jackets, or just suit jackets with long tails, and then these heels. It just didn't. It's very eccentric.
Like somebody trying to be avant-garde?
Yeah, but it was like Gucci or somebody up there, you know, like a really famous brand.
So, suit jackets, adult diapers, and heels?
Yes.
Sounds like a Tuesday.
They do that for the press. They don't actually manufacture these things.
For the fashion.
They just want to get photographed.
Yeah.
And
Right.
actually maybe like
Shock value.
yeah.
By the time that distills its way down to, say, Walmart, because everything eventually gets distilled down, you have your high fashion shows and your haute couture.
So-
And then all those designs are stolen by all these different companies, I can't name one right now, but there's all these, and then those things come out to the ready to wear market. By the time it's distilled down, those diapers are now like cute shorts.
So it'll be like, it gets distilled and it's like a necktie, a loincloth, and some chancletas.
And some chancletas, and you're like, I'm hitting the beach.
Yeah.
So listen, real quick, I'm gonna, speaking of fashion, I have something fashion-y that I want to show you guys. I'm gonna step away for 1 second.
Okay, step away. Just
While
walk
she's going away,
I want to show something fashiony too.
Okay. Then I'm gonna put you all two in the waiting room for a minute.
No, I'm done. I'm here.
Are you sure?
This is my fashion. This is my
Ah!
fashion.
Oh, Gia.
This is
That's Gia?
She's
Yeah.
always in. Yes,
How-
she's 6 years old now, boo.
Oh, she's
my
still,
God.
she's at the prime of her life.
Oh, she's so cute.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I miss
I
Gia.
love her so much.
She reminds me of Muffin.
A little bit like Miss Muffin. Look very much like Miss Muffin.
Yeah.
You know, and I
here's
know that.
Puff.
Hi, Puff.
She had a tooth extraction.
Oh.
Oh,
And
Puff.
Blondie's somewhere,
Where's
probably under the bed.
Blondie?
She's probably under the bed.
You know, Misael, I know that you're in fashion because you and your husband got Gia, and at one point you guys said to me she's putting on weight. We're going to send her back.
Well, you know, that's so funny because we wanted to, on this Blondie.
Hi, Blondie.
Oh, she does
Blondie's
sweet.
the thinnest.
Blondie's she's thin.
Yes.
She's thin, darling.
We went through names and we went, should we call her Nadia, Linda, Christie? We went Iman, Beverly, Naomi. And then
Why did you settle on Gia?
Because Holly's Italian and Gia is Italian.
Right.
So we wanted an Italian name.
And it's a cute little name for a dog.
Yeah.
A
You know what
Gia.
her full name is, right?
Gia Monroe?
Yes, Gia Monroe Merva Maldonado.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's really the sweetest little thing. Look, Matinga, look at this creature. Show her.
It's like you can't
Look,
love her.
Matinga.
Look at
I
her.
can't love her more.
Miss Gia Garangi.
I didn't think it was possible to love something so much.
Oh, she's absolutely
Aw.
precious. Look at her tongue.
Hope your husband doesn't hear that.
When my husband comes home from work, he spends like 5 minutes kissing Gia, like, hello, I'm here.
Myself, not to put you on the spot, but
Don't
choose
put me on the
one,
spot. Go
your
ahead.
dog or your husband.
Save somebody?
Don't answer.
I would save my dog because Holly's capable of saving himself. And
Yes,
Holly would say the same answer.
good answer.
Yeah.
And now Matinga has a fashion show to present
I like
to
dogs
us.
better than people, by the way.
You know what? Because the animals treat you exactly the way that you treat them. So you give them love and you get love in return. People, on the other hand, will do you wrong, come in your eye, and then forget your number somehow.
Oh, I wanted to say that, Matinga, you said like everything is touch up. Like right now, I did some editing to take some wrinkles off my thing off with the little thing. So yeah.
Mm.
The touch-up appearance.
Oh yeah, hello.
Mm.
Oh,
If it's
oh,
available-
Lovely.
if it's available to you, why not?
Exactly.
I like
Yeah.
Beverly Johnson once. Beverly Johnson was great. She said everybody should be rich enough to be able to afford plastic surgery.
Hello.
She said that?
And
Amen.
I liked a picture of her on Twitter, and I said, "Oh my God, eternally beautiful." And she wrote back to me, "Doctor, blah 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 blah."
Oh, I love it.
A plastic surgeon.
One of the original supermodels, Miss Beverly Johnson.
Yes.
Do you know who I met at a party once who was super cool? Pat Cleveland.
Oh, Miss Pat
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Oh my God. Wait, can I say real Pat Cleveland? I
Mhm.
forget what show it is, but she had cancer and she had chemo twice. And she came back from the runway and she walked the runway waving her, just full of life.
Alive.
Love her.
Aw.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She was really
best,
awesome.
Best runway model I'm going to ever. Better than Naomi.
She was a
better than
kiki.
anyone.
Yeah.
Pat Cleveland. Check out the runway. She didn't do the runway. She danced across that runway.
Love it.
Nobody to compete with her. She was the best.
Just on a little side note, I want to say we haven't mentioned any makeup artists. And I want to say that my two favorite makeup artists were Kevin Aquan and Way Bandy.
Yay!
Incredible.
Way Bandy. Yes.
Way Bandy. So I just want to say that this many, many years ago, me and Misael were in a book called They Call Themselves Queens.
Oh, yeah.
And this is one of Misael's shots.
Oh, my God. Why do you have that so big?
It's the book.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
One of her other shots.
Work. Yes. By Panya Jurgens.
And
I had a
also,
butt plug in that picture.
and there was a full, like, 36 exposures that they took, where Misael looks absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
Fantastic.
And I gagged. I haven't really
Where's your
thumbed them.
pictures? I want to see your pictures.
So I'm in here too. But you know what? I didn't realize Candy is in here too.
Well, show me.
Miss Candy's in here, I guess.
They call themselves queens, darling. While Matinga finds that page, I'm going to just throw out a name. Give me some responses. Christian Dior.
Beautiful.
Was that the new look?
Yes, beautiful couture clothes. Yes, love Christian Dior.
Karl Lagerfeld. Insane.
The hardest work. He did 4 collections at one time. Crazy work ethics.
Did he
Work.
pass?
He did pass.
He did pass.
Work, Miss Matinga.
Work.
Oh,
Yes.
I love it.
They call themselves queens.
I love the nude one with the legs crossed. That is, I would blow that up and put it on top of my sofa. I would.
Honey, looks
You
like
want to see Candy?
in that shot, she did blow it up.
Love.
Bring Candy.
Bring Miss Candy. Halston.
Of Halston.
Disco era Halston.
Oh, the documentary is great.
Yes.
The Austin documentary.
Yes.
Apparently, he was hell on wheels. Yeah, everybody was afraid and walked around him and very gingerly.
Candy.
Fucking beautiful.
Wow.
Work, girl.
Nice, beautiful.
Work,
gorgeous.
Candy. Yes.
Gorgeous.
Oh
Oh,
my
I
God,
love
the
the picture
hair.
next to it also.
Yeah.
Fantastic. They call themselves queens.
And RuPaul and Kevin Aviance and all the big queens of the time. This is Kevin on the cover.
Yes, girl.
I
Fashion.
remember one time he slept with Rick, and I went to visit Rick, and he thought, when Rick used to live on 42nd Street, and he must have thought that I was gonna go sleep with Rick, and he gave me the dirtiest look, like,
Really?
yeah, like, are you gonna see him after I saw him?
And
Well-
did you?
No, Rick, no.
Oh, girl, please. Don't act like you didn't hook up.
I
No
did.
shade. No shade.
I hooked up enough to get this apartment. Hello.
Hello, girl. You've been living there forever.
Hello.
He left me a he left me a rent stabilized apartment. So
That's fabulous.
Rick, not only was Rick handsome, but he
And
had,
also a makeup artist. Fashion industry.
yeah, incredible makeup artist, and he had other attributes I hear that
He
were
did
quite
your makeup.
fabulous.
he did your makeup, Anthony, didn't he?
He is the one who made me look the fishiest I've ever looked
Funny.
for a short subject.
And it was a total teardown.
Yeah,
But
he made me look
what was the
gorgeous.
short- What was this? Do you remember what project it was for?
It was for putting in the mix, and we actually showed a clip on the last show that the live show.
Yes.
He did my makeup that day.
We still
And
have to
I
fix
looked-
the audio.
I looked so cunt, but I will say that he plucked my brows. He took 2 hours. He made me look beautiful. I loved it, but he plucked my brows so thin that like for the next like month, I would be on the subway looking cunt.
Like this.
Yeah, I was kind.
Dying.
Yeah.
Dying. You would be
Yeah.
dying.
But that's fashion, darling.
Yeah.
That's
That's
fashion.
class.
That's class. Such a great book. And you know, the worlds of drag and fashion and makeup and glamour
Come together.
it all sort of mixes up in
Yeah.
one glamour.
There's actually a very famous trans fashion model right now.
Yes. Yes.
Or he might be gender non-binary. I'm not sure if he's trans or gender non-binary. But like it's beautiful woman, and he wears, he walks the runways and really incredible. So I don't want to miss up the pronouns. I don't know if he's trans or gender non-binary.
Does he look like?
He's Brazilian. I know that.
There's a Brazilian model that was on the cover of French Vogue who's on the current issue of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, and she's the first tranny model. Not tranny,
Yes.
transsexual model.
And gorgeous. And you know what? Good for Sports Illustrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good for Sports Illustrated.
Yes.
Now,
That's
is there a magazine called Water Sports Illustrated? And do the pages stick together? Do you know where they have amazing fashions? At teespring.com/stores/workshop, where you can
Indeed.
get homework shirts and learn it backpacks and
Adventures there. I love that place.
and look at this
Oh,
bodega
yeah.
is choice coffee mugs and all that good
Yes.
stuff. And that address again, in case you missed it, is teespring.com/stores/workshop. Miss Misael, please
Yes.
tell the story of when you got busted. Was it at a Key Food shop? Tell the story, please.
But you know what? Before I got busted, I got away with a
Well, what happened on that fateful
I would put
day?
a chicken underneath my armpit, another chicken underneath my other armpit, and I would just walk out the store. I would buy one thing. This was 20 years ago. I would buy one thing so they wouldn't get suspicious.
Right.
But it's very
Oh my God.
It's apple pie.
It's very divine. The girl can't help it. The girl can't help it.
But this was at a time when they would take your picture and put it on the wall when you were caught shoplifting.
That's right.
And I believe you were caught with a chicken under each arm and a TV guide.
Sounds right.
Also, it was a long time ago.
Yes, it was a long time ago.
But I want to say that Miss Michael's no one to talk, because me and Michael lived in the East Village on 9th Street 30 years ago, and we would literally survive, because we were so flat broke on mac and cheese, because the box was 25 cents. So it's mac and cheese and mac and cheese and mac and cheese, but we had enough money to do mescaline.
Girl, how'd we afford all that ecstasy? You know why? You know why, girl?
Ecstasy.
Because we weren't paying for the drugs.
Right.
That's why, darling. I would prefer they had given us food. No, I wanted the drugs.
I wanted the drugs.
Yeah.
And you know what? When people insult gay people, they're really insulting women people, because they're insulting the gay part of that it's too feminine or whatever, too womanly. What's wrong with being too feminine? Women are wonderful. They're great.
They are great. Like when someone
Ruth
says you throw like a girl, I'm like, thank you. By the way, I don't know what's happening with my chair, but it's suddenly getting a lot lower. I think I
have an ass like a girl. Thank you. I gotta be
Thank you. By the way, I suck dick like a girl too. Ask your dad. Hello.
Honey, gays suck dick better than girls.
Better than
Us,
any
bitch.
girl, honey.
Well, let's not start an internet war about who sucks dick better. Let's just get out there and prove it.